To those of you just joining us, we're here today with John Butigan, former national trainer for Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy, 3 times NAR convention speaker, and twice a WCR convention speaker as well. So John knows his stuff. The boy knows his onions. So we're going to have John give us some tips on how to make headway in what is a somewhat challenging market. But he has some great ideas of how to get around that. There's always business there, right, John?
100%. Hey, great to be with you today, Gary. 30 years together, helping so many people. Yeah, we've done some incredible programs and events to increase agents' lives and increasing their incomes. And then we're doing a ton with coaching up agents as well. You know, one of the big things that the top pros are doing is they're separating themselves from the rest of the pack with really creative things. I'm going to let you behind the curtain a little bit on that today. But people invest thousands of dollars a month gladly because the ROI is huge when they work with us. So you're going to have an opportunity at the close of this to be part of our inner circle for as little as $20 or $30 a month. So don't miss out on that. But big time for everybody here is how do we get things going? What's big traction that you can really plug into? And I'm really excited about having everybody on here. When I look over the attendees on here, please make a note what city you're at. Henry, anybody else? No one else is even undoing their. I guess we have to hit allow them to talk. Let's not set these up as webinars anymore. When they're this intimate, we may as well just have them in on a meeting. But basically, everybody should be engaged here. There's not many of you here. So if there's questions, you don't have to be on microphone or the video, but at least put some things in the chat about what market you're in, the last 90 days of sales for you, things of that nature, and then questions as they're posed in your mind and as we prompt things as well. So here we go, man. We've got a lot to cover in a nice 20 minutes together. I really want this to be exploratory to help you capture more market share and what the top pros are doing. So the first thing is the top pros, they are not paying attention to the headlines. Okay. You got to make sure that what you're focused on, 2 things. Everybody write it down. Your attitude and your activity. Attitude and activity. Something goes sideways in the transaction or you're not getting the right kind of response on something. It's how you react to it. So the attitude of gratitude, but also that absolute ability for you to stay focused in a very unfocused world by not paying attention to the headlines. You want to pay attention to your bank account, to getting results. And the good news in this business, if you're helping people, it's a good thing. It's the scoreboard that tells the story. If you're making big money, that means that you're helping more people. So that's really, really positive. And that's why I want you to do that. So they're not paying attention to those headlines. And then the other things that they're doing is they're really nurturing their big database. Why Gary and I are in your life is to help build this up here in your mind, help you always on your positive attitude train, help what you're feeding yourself, help your self-talk. If you had a friend that talked to you the way they talk to yourself, sometimes you probably would not hang around them very long. Help you there. Then we want to help scale your business in so many ways, such as building your following, building your database. And if your database isn't hundreds, you're missing out because those are the biggest database wins. And it's the timing that people run into. It's the ability to be able to harvest, not always in the same season, but lay down enough seeds. So to do that, that's what the best of the best doing is building their database and then nurturing those extremely well. Because what you want to go for is in high interest rate times when no inventory, low inventory, whatever the scenarios are, they are always people that are moving, always people needing to, not a want. And there's still the wants. There's still lots of people. It was 39 point and change of how many transactions last month across the country in real estate were cash. 40% were cash. So those people aren't crying over the opportunity for the right rates. Well, they're looking at this as I'm going to go feast on some of these great properties that people aren't involved in yet, that people have blown off that I can go pick up for a much bigger 10, 15% haircut possibly. So a lot of it is on cash, which is awesome. And then the other side of it is these things that happen in life. So write these down. These are the big ones. You're going to have people moving because of their want and their need. But the need is what I'm going to address right now. The big need is what keeps you always going in this business, no matter what. The first one is D for divorce. So I call them the 5 Ds. The first D is divorce. There's going to be things that force a move. So if that's the case, great. The other D is going to be debt. People are servicing debt. It got to be out of control. They got too much. They have to sell. The other one is disease. They got something that they can't be treated for there, that need to go elsewhere, or because their disease bills are monstrously high, that need to be able to sell the property. So look for that. And that's what's going to help you tremendously, is being able to look for some of these D's to create activity. And then we're going to give you solutions how you go find those people here in a few minutes. Okay. The other D is Denver, Colorado. No, just kidding. But it's another big D that you have to always be ready for, and that's displacement. Somebody did get the job in Denver. Somebody did get sent to overseas. Somebody does have an opportunity to work for the next 2 years for $800,000 a year in Dubai. There's another D as well. And so it could be those kind of things that happen. So when you're looking at the big picture of things, you have the disease, the debt, the death, you have divorce, you have that death is a tough one. Yes. So that fifth D that we want to talk about is death. Something's going to happen that's going to create that emptiness, that move on period, etc., as also cause and effect, or the last standing member of the family. And so now it's in an estate and the kids don't want the home, etc., and they want to sell it. So those are the big guys right there. Gary, where are they turning to always to find a lead generation in their area that then they can go filter out, find, prospect, and go out there and farm these type of areas that they're interested in working? Where are they turning to? Who are they leaning on to go get good data?
Well, I think a lot of people forget what a great resource some of their business partners are. For example, title companies. Title companies are incredibly helpful. They will get you a list of homes in any area that you want. I mean, I know realtors that thrive on this, and basically what they'll do is they'll say to a title company, "Hey, I want a list of every homeowner with their phone numbers, where possible, and of course make sure it's scrubbed for the do not call list, within a mile of where I live, or in a certain subdivision or zip code." And they will just put these numbers into a dialer, and they'll make numerous calls every day. I mean, cold calling is, at first it's tough, but as the more you do it, it gets easier and easier, and you get your script down. But
All
it's
right, Gary.
still
So
a great
let's
way of
have
getting
everybody put
leads.
in the chat. Let's have everybody put in the chat on number one if they work with a title company for lead gen, that you're getting good, clean data.
Phone your title company, ask them what they can do for you. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, big time. And then there's a lot of people that joined us. Please take a second while you're in the chat, put it number one if you do work with title people. And then the other part is, hey, put in your city that you're in and maybe the real estate company if you'd like to add that too. But please be engaged here if there's some insights, because Gary, this has been instrumental for you. I know 100% you have enjoyed every bit of this growing and building on your uh, coaching and developing of people. I've enjoyed this part of it to really open up those relationships with title companies. They want you to sell more business. They want you
Absolutely.
to make sales.
Absolutely. Yeah. They have a
So
vested interest.
use your alliances like crazy, everybody. Make sure you're on point with that. That's awesome. And then Gary, when they're calling and they're reaching out to an area, let's say in a pretty good spot that they're farming, do you recommend that they do make some calls and that it is a well scrubbed list? Are they making some calls, or are they doing a pop by, stop by, drop by, or a little bit of both?
I think one thing leads to another. I think once you get people on the phone and you can have a somewhat decent conversation with them, and you can start off with something very simple. You don't have to be too tricky with the call. I mean, the call can be something as simple as, "Hey, Mr. Jones. Just want to touch base, see if you'd be interested in knowing the value of your property now in this current crazy market. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. And you can start with something as simple as that. They might tell you to get lost, but some of them won't. And you know, once you're always going to get that. I mean, you're always going to get rejection, but you know, no big
No,
deal.
I love it. So
Yeah.
here's my script, everybody, for out and about. So I really hope you do follow Gary's tips and advice and really watch how he teaches you what to do creatively with open houses, how you can have mortgage people, have other agents, or yourself still working open houses like crazy. And even if you don't have a listing, you still work the area. Hey, there's a listing down here. Invariably, dozens of people will not be able to get the house. Tell me, what's the magic number on your house if we had another buyer that was interested in this area? What's the magic number you'd be after? Ask people that. Very simple. Now, technically, here's the sophistication of it. Typically, you'll knock on a door and they'll answer and you'll say, market report. And you just hand them the latest sales, withdrawals, pendings, closing, all that for that area. And just step back, introduce yourself. And then if they are starting to ask you some things, engage. But otherwise, simply smile, move on, boom. Hey, believe you me, people want to know what's what these days. And the fluctuations of valuation, oh my gosh, talk about Six Flags over America. It's been a roller coaster on that. Some people go from 1.5 million 1 month to 1 million. So be on point here and keeping people informed, everything else. How important, Gary, is it to consistently give them a market report? Would you say you're supposed to be doing it for somebody that hasn't said, I'm looking right now, I need to move? How often do you give them a market report?
Every week. I think you
There you
do one
go.
a week. Who on here uses a CRM like KV Core? You know, put your hands up.
Who's got, yeah, who's using some kind of Real Geeks, Boomtown,
Yeah, any of them. Great agent. They're all good, but basically
anything?
they virtually all will have a feature whereby you can send out weekly reports to the market. I know KV Core does. And I know Great Agent does, because I've been with people with real estate agents when we're training them that are using them, and I'm sure plenty of other CRMs do as well. But if you're not doing that, you're really, really missing out, because the most important thing is there are thousands of realtors out there. You want to be top of mind. When they think of a realtor, you want them to think of you. You don't want to drive them batty by, calling them every day. But a market report once a week keeps you in there. It just keeps you on their radar. And that's the most important thing, because we don't know when a lot of these people are going to make a move, but eventually they will. But it might, it's JB said, it's planting seeds. It could be months down the line, it could be years down the line, but you're planting
Right.
seeds for future business.
There's lottery winners all the time. There's all kinds of things, events in life happen. There's another D for you. Dream home. You want to be able to go to your dream place. You've got the shortening, the empty nest to expanding the nest. All these things happen, but it's your job to be top of mind, tip of the tongue as the choice to actually buy, to list, all the above, and making sure you're on point there. So when you're making the calls, when you're doing the stop by pop buys, when you're doing some of these creative things, tell them about that relationship for open houses, Gary, that you have a lot of our top producers following in terms of having some good different kind of coverage rather than even themselves when they have multiple open houses and things.
Well, one of the things that realtors don't do enough, I think, is they don't call the neighbors. What you want to do is go back to your title company, say, hey, I want a list of homeowners, again, within a certain area of what, a house I'm going to hold open. And then you call them up, and that's a very easy call. You might say, hey, it's, Joe with ABC Realty. We're having an open house. There's going to be, balloons and cookies or whatever. Bring the kids. Maybe you'd like to check out the house and, pop by and meet with us, and invite the neighbors in, because that gives you an extra line of communication where you get them on your list, you get to meet them, shake their hand, give them a card, and they go in your database and they start getting the weekly reports. You've got to get them in there, get them on that conveyor belt. I think
Right.
is
Lots of
the
people
best way
wanted
to
to know
describe
how
it.
they lived. You're going to have people that are curious about how they live. And the truth is, the numbers are people move within a couple of miles typically when they do sell. So maybe they are thinking about taking over that place. Could be a situation where they got a great friend at work that they'd love to have live by them, or
Right.
another
That's true.
relative. Those kind of things happen. So, yeah, neighbors opens, guys. That is absolutely genius. And so you're doing that as, yes, a wine and cheese thing a night before or the morning of, a little light continental breakfasty thing before the rest of the public comes in. And I've seen what Gary's designed for his top producer programs for really high level invitations that go to those neighbors. You'll want to know about those things. This is the kind of value that we bring. We want to always give you cutting edge, mental edge, help you really build your business, build your and scale it so that your revenue can be incredibly good. And we're proud to tell you that we have people in this business, the real estate people that we coach up, they're having record breaking years, record breaking commissions, and 90+% of the agents are on the sideline right now. And a lot of people are like that. So the hope is there for you to plug in consistently. We've put in inside the chat here where we actually have an inner circle that we run out on a regular basis every other week. We'll get you the details on that, those that are serious. And it's in the chat right now for you to be able to copy. And I'll put it right there again. And make sure you hit everyone. There we go. That's the inner circle. And when I share the screen right now, you'll be able to see a little bit of what we do. We are designed to be able to help you do this. And the first 3 people that do it today, I'll give you a free hour consultation. I'm $800 an hour. So when you get a consultation with me or Gary for yourself, or if you have a team that has a meeting that you need us to fire them up for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we're happy to do that. But when you jump on it today, then you're going to be in line to be able to get that free hour of coaching from Gary and I combo, just me or just Gary, whichever way you'd like it to be. And you get that here, and it's going to be exciting for you to join our inner circle that we do, and we're going to have a blast. So we have a lot of things that are going to help you stay focused, rolling out the year, and then going into the new one with momentum. And the best way to be able to do that is insulate yourself with great, high quality people. You should see some of the all-star guests we bring on, top agents, just really helping you behind the curtain to know what the best of the best are doing. So open it up a little bit. And as I post the link and you can see it on the screen, is there some people with some questions out there? Anything specific that's going on in your market, your situation? This is a webinar format. We'll never do a webinar again. Yeah, unmute these. We have to manually unmute everybody here. Wow. Here we go. This reminds me of when Gary and I do conferences where we don't want the interruption, and we've done webinar hundreds of times. But yeah, this one here,
Thousands actually.
yeah. We've been so busy. We are so happy to help everybody here. I hit the ask to unmute, so everybody should be able to do something there. Sheila, Henry, Alan, Colleen.
Tell us what your biggest challenge is that you're facing at the moment in real estate.
Yes.
Come on, let's hear it. Oh, and JB, let's give them a taster of what to expect from the inner circle. Tell them about the postcards.
Yes. I mean, this is what's really, really exciting. When you get to be a part of the inner circle, and you said, tell them about some of the process.
The postcard
Oh, the postcard technique.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I always like that. So it's a great idea. I know
We're
lots of
going to
agents
give
have
you a
found
little
it.
sample of this. And I mean, if anybody, is real serious about where you're going with your business, you always want to be around great ideas. And my great idea came years ago from a phenomenal lady. And she was their top hitter. It's in Orange County, California. I was young, training companies. I was working with Tom Hopkins, who sold 800 homes in 2 years, Guinness Book of World Record, #1 real estate agent of all time, all that. And I said this, like, wow, you cleaned up on the listings, the sales, the income, everything. Can you kind of give me some secret sauce here, kind of thing? So, what's your secret? And she goes, right here. And she pointed to this. And what's awesome is it was all about this postcard change of address. So jot this down, everybody. Postcard change of address. And on the front of it, it would say the Taylors have moved. And so the approach to the family was this: right at closing, give them the keys, etc. Meet them at the closing office, legal, title, law, and say a value added benefit. So VAB, a value added benefit of what we provide here at ABC Real Estate is we're going to go ahead and take a fresh picture of you guys in front of the house, or maybe we'll go ahead and use the MLS shot, whatever you'd like. And we're going to turn that into a postcard. And on the front, I'll have the picture of the home and everything. And on the back, and it'll say, we've just moved. And on the back, it'll say, the Taylors have moved to this address, and the Taylor family new address. And then a lot of families like to use this as a housewarming invitation. So maybe about 5 weeks after you've settled in, there'll be a date down there for that. And they go, wow, you'll do that for us? Yeah. Guess what? Now you get the list. And you could have this underwritten by title, mortgage, landscaping, moving companies, doesn't matter. But even if it was $1 per lead and the average person gets hundreds of these to you, I mean, just even think of how people organize their holiday cards these days. It's all on Excel or Google Sheets or whatever. Same thing for newlyweds. And then the all-time best was a guy that learned this technique from me. He goes, JB, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think. I was kind of stumbling through it with the lady and the guy. And by the time I got back to the office, there was an Excel spreadsheet with 1,163 names in it. That guy is now top 3.1 GCI, $3.1 million. Randy has from that technique. Anybody okay with a $200,000, $300,000 a year pay raise over the last decade, like he has from that group of people and their circles? So, hey, something creative like that, and so many other phenomenal techniques, and picking the brain of the top hitters is what we do at the circle. So, definitely take advantage of that today. And if you feel compelled, the link is right there. That's great. Be a part of what we're doing with that. But that's so secondary to your big time year ahead. If you have an organization, if you have some people that you'd like us to talk to, if you want me to coach up and Gary and I to coach up your team or your partner and you, let's talk. And my direct cell phone number, I'm putting it right in the chat here to everybody. And Gary's as well, 480-845-8852.
Yeah, I'm putting mine in there.
And JB Seminars at Yahoo if you'd like to ask a question or find out more about private coaching, etc. And then Gary, you're doing yours. Or you want me to type it?
I got it. Thanks.
Oh, gorgeous. Gary and I have worked together 31 years. We're like an old married couple. We've been able to help so many people all around the world, millions and millions. And the last 15 years has been dedicated to top producers in the real estate field, where the majority of the world wants to know answers. We've lived and worked through 5, 6, 7 presidents, it seems. We've been through all those administrations, ups and downs of the market cycle, twice the height of interest rates than what you're seeing right now. We've been through so much, and it does not matter. It's the mental side, it's the database, it's keep yourself moving and surround yourself with awesome, positive people. Anybody want to open up their microphone, ask any questions, or put something in the chat for a question? Gary said it best. What's your number one issue? Is there anything else as we wrap up for the last couple of minutes here?
Yeah, you
as well.
Feel free to make a comment. I mean, as long as it's polite, we don't mind.
If you're online right now, if you want to have a gift card from us that I think we're offering,
yes,
it costs us money. So if you're online right now, you have to go to the chat right now and put a Y at least in there. Y in the chat. I'm putting it in here because some people are probably just letting this thing run and then we hang up and they're not even around. Why in the chat room? The condition was you had to stay on the whole time. Why in the chat to get gift card? So you got to put a Y in the chat, and that's the next 30 seconds. Got to find it. It's, I don't care if you're on a phone, you can operate chat on these. And then on a laptop, same thing. If you want to earn that, no one's participating at all.
It may well be that they're not on here, but
Hey, they don't want to go out to dinner.
that's okay. No, right.
Exactly. Hey, we got to the food for thought. There you go. That's the big key. And we really thank you guys for being on here today. No questions? Ask to unmute.
If you want to learn more, go to the tiny URL on the screen for the inner circle. There's twice monthly meetings via Zoom, probably meetings, not webinars, as JB said. Usually about 45 minutes to an hour each, so you earn tons of stuff. You can cancel anytime, and we're doing, especially, it's normally $99 for $19.99 each. So there you go. Can't do better than that, can you?
Phenomenal. Yeah, that's really awesome, Gary. And what an opportunity for everybody to be a part of something, an incredible community. And it's not even a joke. I mean, 1/100th of a sale pays for that. I mean, it's nothing. 1/1000th. So you pick up some ideas for all that. So again,
you will pick up
warning
ideas.
shot here, must type a Y if you want to get the gift card today. In the chat.
Okie doke. Well, we're right at about 30 minutes now, as we said. So I think we'll wrap this up unless there are any questions at all. Appreciate your time today, JB. Thank you for the great
Mine
idea.
too. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. You're always world class, man. And glad that we could be around each other. Thank you. And looking forward to helping everybody.
Likewise. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Speak to you all soon. Strong. Thank you, man.
Okay. Bye then.
Talk to you. Bye.